All right, guys, I do have a Monday editorial for you this morning. I looked and looked across Google. I looked through 12 pages of Google looking for a story on law enforcement, something that I could bring to you and inform you about. I didn't really see anything that they're talking about in the news that has to do with law enforcement corruption or professionalism or violation of policy or violation of civil rights and so forth. I saw a lot of crime of people that are non-law enforcement, but I didn't really see a whole lot of things about law enforcement until I came across this Fort Worth story. So we're going to go and I'm going to take you through this one. The one I came across was New York Times, but they want you to either subscribe or create some account to read the story, and I don't want you guys to have to do that. But the New York Times did a story on this as well if you want to go to that one. This one here comes to us from a different outlet, which I will bring to your attention. But before I get to this Fort Worth story, I want you to think about something. This is Fort Worth, Texas. This is one city. One city in the nation, Fort Worth. I want you to ask yourself, and everybody who sees this video, is this happening in my town or my city? Are the police doing something in my town or my city that's questionable? Are the police acting in a manner that goes against the oath they swore to protect and serve the communities in which they're working? We have so many law enforcement officers nationwide that are bullies, that intimidate, that forgot that they're there to serve the community and serve the public. They think they're just there to enforce the law. I'm here to catch criminals. I'm like Officer McGruff, and I'm going to find you, criminal. And so everybody's a criminal. Everybody is suspicious. You're suspicious of something, and I'm going to find out what, and I'm going to arrest you. And I'm talking nationwide. We're going to find out where this is coming from in this story in just a second. But that's what I want to ask yourself. We've got St. Louis. We've got Detroit. We've got New Orleans. We've got Mobile, Montgomery, Atlanta, DeKalb County, Seattle. Did I say Oakland, Los Angeles, San Diego? I could keep going on and on. Tampa Bay, Jacksonville, Fort Lauderdale. So we could go on and on and on naming cities, Oklahoma City, and so forth. I mean, Dallas, San Antonio, Phoenix, Glendale, Arizona, Colorado Springs, Denver, Salt Lake City. Should I keep going? These are all cities I'm naming that have police departments that have had questionable stories or history of questionable police activity. It's all across the nation. So law enforcement officers that watch this, when you say, I don't understand why you people are out there filming us. I don't understand why you, Community Leo Watch, are always talking about bad cops. It's because it's nationwide. This isn't an epidemic. Make no bones. This isn't just a city somewhere that has bad cops. Every state that has a populated city has this problem. And we've even gone through editorials where the population is not even that big, that large, and you still have the problem. So something's going on in law enforcement. I mean, school teachers, there's a lot of stories about school teachers. There's a lot of stories about everybody in every occupation. But law enforcement officers, it just seems to me like the criminal element is high among the ranks of police officers. And what I'm talking about is there are so many police officers that are accused of breaking the law or violating their use of force policy, and it's bad baby. Don't do that again. And then they're back on the job again, doing it again. This officer has had 12 citizens' complaints against him, and he's still out there doing it. I don't get it. I fuck up at my job, I'm bye-bye. And what I'm talking about is, let's say I walk up to somebody and I go like that, and I say, don't do that again. I get fired. A cop does that, and it's like, you shouldn't have did that. You're going to get 5 days no pay. And he's back on the job doing it again. And then he shoots somebody. So law enforcement is the one job where you can just totally fuck up and hurt people, and it's part of the job, man. And you're back on the job. You can't do that in any other job. You'd be fired. So let's go to Fort Worth and see what I'm talking about. Comes to us from the Texarkana Gazette. Thank you, Texarkana Gazette, and Manny Fernandez, Sarah Mervash, and Nicholas Bagel Burrows, who we've mentioned before, for bringing this story to our attention. Now, going to Fort Worth, Texas, before there was a Tatiana Jefferson, there was Jackie Craig, a black woman who called police to report that her white neighbor had grabbed her son and found herself pinned to the ground by the officer who responded. There was also Harry Newson, a black man who had just been discharged from the hospital and was waiting for a ride home when two officers working security questioned why he was there. He refused to leave, and a white officer punched him in the face. There was Gregory Adams, also black, who knocked on his neighbor's door late one night carrying a barbecue fork to keep stray dogs away, he said, and the neighbor called police. A white officer pointed a shotgun at Adams, but said he wasn't meaning to fire it when he did, striking Adams in the arm. Now, these names and others have all been brought up again in the days since Tatiana Jefferson, 28 years old, a black woman, was shot and killed in her bedroom this month by a white police officer who was standing outside her window. So in the largely black and Hispanic neighborhood in southeast Fort Worth, Texas, where Jefferson lived, and in others nearby, many residents recalled times when they had tried calling police and ended up being sorry that they did. Now, Reverend Kiev Tatum says, quote, "This is not an isolated incident. This is historic and it is systemic, and we understand that racism is at the heart of this." Now, he said that asking the Justice Department to investigate over-aggressive policing in Fort Worth communities of color. And again, I've named all these different cities that they've had similar issues, and people are asking the same questions. The long simmering tensions boiled to the surface this month after Jefferson became the sixth person to be killed by Fort Worth police since June. 4 of the 6 were black. I remember the police chief who's when they fired the other police chief, or he quit. I don't remember how he quit, but the other one took over in May, remember, and said, "I'm going to fix this department. We're going to make this a community policing department." And then since June, 6 shootings, 6 fatalities. What's he fixing? Is he trying to eliminate the number of people in the community? I don't understand. But remember, that's the other story I did on Fort Worth. If you go back and look at that one, the Jefferson story, they said that the police chief took over in May and said, "We're going to fix things here." What do you mean by fix things? Fort Worth has a storied history as a western outpost. It lives up to its Cowtown nickname with twice daily cattle drives in the historic district. But today, the nation's 13th largest city is in some ways 2 different places, divided along racial and economic lines. It is home to Walmart heiress Alice Walton, the wealthiest person in Texas, but neighborhoods like Jefferson are dotted with abandoned homes. Jefferson's death drew hundreds to a vigil outside her house in Fort Worth. At City Hall, protesters held signs reading, "Say her name." And we will, at Tatiana K. Jefferson. So from the beginning, city officials knew the case was going to be unlike any of the previous police shootings. The mayor, Betsy Price, said the interim police chief, Ed Krause, called her at about 6:30 a.m. and told her the essence of what had occurred overnight. Price recalled, quote, "He just said, I don't think it's going to be pretty. It's too early. I don't have details yet, but it looks like the wheels fell off." I want to know what you guys think about that. What is she revealing in that phone call right there? In that right there. What is revealing in that? What is telling when he says the wheels fell off? What is he really saying? We're fucked. The town's going to go crazy. The city is going to riot. Is that what he's saying? I think that Fort Worth has some answering to do. Not just for this case, but for their history. I think that the Fort Worth police is about to get a revamp from the top down. I don't think Ed Krause, I don't think you're going to make it through the year, buddy. I think by New Year's, you're going to have another police chief. Maybe. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Happy Monday, and I got to go. Thank you for watching.